Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Raw Take. I'm your host, Rob Reed. This is your review for the August 11th, 2021 edition of AEW Dynamite. Uh, this was, it certainly wasn't a bad show, but it was probably one of the weaker shows in recent memory. I know a lot of episodes lately have been special themes. This was more of an episode, just a regular Dynamite. No big uh, themes. Wasn't like a fight for the fallen or anything like that. But it was still a really fun show. Still a lot of fun stuff happened. The first match, actually, first there was a quick backstage thing with MJF and Wardlow, as Wardlow will be in the main event against Chris Jericho. Wardlow is the fourth labor of Jericho, and uh, MJF was like, if you miraculously survive Wardlow, you still have to fight me as your fifth labor. And Wardlow is like, "Oh, I'll beat him." And MJF is like, "Oh, like you did Cody." And he like he MJF was like eating an apple, and he throws it to Wardlow, and Wardlow just crushes it. So the first match we have is a six-man tag. It's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and they're taking on Dante Martin of Top Flight and the Sydal brothers. This match was 100% a showcase for Dante Martin. He looked absolutely amazing in this match. Uh, for the most part, it was a straightforward match, but like the last 5 minutes or so was a straight up showcase for Dante Martin. He took a lot of punishment. He reversed a lot of the Bucks and Kenny Omega's main offense. He reversed a one-winged angel. Uh, he did. I don't even know how to explain some of the moves he did. He is like one of the most athletic guys I've ever seen in the ring. He's only like 20 years old, and people make fun of the fact that AEW is the place where released WWE guys go, but if you really look, they've really been showcasing tonight specifically was to showcase new up and coming guys. That's one plus I can absolutely give to this episode. It was a showcase to younger talent. This match in particular, uh, Dante Martin is going to be a big star in the future. He's already fantastic, and I can imagine in the next 5 years he's going to be lumped in with some of the top names. So this was really good. By the end, it took uh, like two V triggers, a one winged angel, and then because Kenny Omega is so paranoid about anyone kicking out of the one winged angel, he immediately had the Bucks grab Dante, and they did a triple VTE trigger to finish him off. Like, he didn't want to take any chance of Dante Martin kicking out of the one winged angel. That was fantastic. This is how you book someone losing, but still looking great. Still coming out looking strong. Yes, he lost, but he took a beating, and it took essentially it took a three-man finish just to put him away. Fantastic. Fantastic stuff. Next, we have Darby Allin against Daniel Garcia, and another really good showcase for a young talent. Daniel Garcia is I don't think he's signed. I think they're giving him and 2.0 a look, at least. This is another really good match, a really good showcase. Daniel Garcia did a lot of good, cool suplexes. There was a point where Darby Allin went for a springboard coffin drop and was immediately caught in a rear naked choke for a really good close finish. For like false finish. Eventually, Darby was able to hit the coffin drop and get the win. But another match where the loser looked really good coming out. Then post match, there was a 2.0 went to attack Sting. Darby and Sting fought him off. And we're going to have next week, there's going to be a tag match between Darby and Sting and 2.0, and it's a Texas Tornado tag match, which means everybody's in the ring at the same time. Oh, I did forget, and this is actually pretty big news, right after the 6-man tag, Don Callis calls out Christian Cage, as Christian Cage has officially been announced as the #1 contender for the AEW title, and they will have their match at All Out. So anybody hoping that the Hangman versus Kenny was happening at All Out, looks like that is absolutely not happening. I still think that match happens. I still think that's the initial direction. I just think they're taking a little longer to get there. But Christian Cage comes out and he says, calls Don Callis a carny piece of shit. And then he says, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. He said, we're in Pittsburgh. You're a carny jagoff. So apparently that's a Pittsburgh, a favorite Pittsburgh insult, because it got a big pop from the crowd, as they are in Pittsburgh. And then he says, I had a conversation with Scott D'Amore from Impact Wrestling, and he said on the debut episode of Rampage, in the very first match on Rampage, Kenny Omega will face Christian Cage for the Impact World Championship. So it looks like we're going to get Kenny versus Christian Cage, Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage twice. I think I know where this is going. I could be wrong. I'm not a booker. I'm not one of the bookers for AEW, obviously. I think Christian Cage is going to beat Kenny for the Impact title, so he can have a quick run in Impact. And I think at All Out, he's going to lose. That will set up it'll set up Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page at either the Arthur Ashe show of Dynamite, the big show that they've been promoting in September, or at Full Gear, which is the which is a pay-per-view that's named specifically after Hangman Page. It makes sense if they did it there. But as they're leaving, they're trying. The Bucks and Kenny are trying to run them off, and then Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus come out because Don Callis is like, There's 10 of us and there's only one of you. Well, Jurassic Express comes out, and Jungle Boy says, "Oh, we had a conversation with two, and next week on Dynamite, there's going we're the number one contenders to the tag team titles, and next week it'll be Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks for the AEW tag team titles. So that'll happen next week." So there was a lot of stuff set up for both the debut of Rampage and for next week. Another thing I really liked. So I'm fine. I know I'm not sure how I am with having the same match happen in a relatively short amount of time. And you do have like 3 weeks in between between Friday's Rampage and All Out, but I mean, I complain about WWE doing the same match too many times. I'll have to wait and see how they go about Omega and Christian Cage. We'll see from there. So after that, we have a pre-tape with Malachi Black, and he says the villain is often the person who is right is often labeled the fool. He said I did everything I said I would to Cody last week. He said I've already put one foot in the grave. He said anytime Cody wants to put the other one in, he said I'll be happy to do it. And he said sometimes when you're talking so loud, you don't realize that you're arguing with God. So apparently Malachi Black believes he was God. Maybe that means that Miro is his favorite wrestler. We'll see. That's a joke that I saw Denise Salcedo make on Twitter last night. I thought it was funny. Next, we had another 6-man tag. It was Wheeler Yuta, Orange Cassidy, and Chuck Taylor. They took on Matt Hardy and Private Party. Another good showcase for a young talent in Wheeler Yuta. They mentioned on last night that, the night before, last weekend, the Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia had a match. I can't remember if they said it, but I saw online they had a 1-hour match, a 1-hour time limit draw at an independent show, and then tonight they're in 2 separate matches. So really putting over both guys, and this is another really good match where a young guy got got some shine on him. This, I will say, was a little too overbooked in my opinion. Um, there was a point where Chris Statlander was attacked by um, Nyla Rose because they're having a match later on. She's attacked by Nyla Rose. We get uh, attacks from Jack Evans, who's not in the match. It's it's a little bit overbooked. There's a lot of distraction stuff in my for my taste. Uh, but again, Willer Yuta looked really good. Uh, but eventually, he he gets hit with a gin and juice, but from Private Party. Uh, Orange Cassidy uh, cuts the pin off there, but uh, Matt Hart Matt Hardy, I can't throws something in Orange Cassidy's eyes, then like kicks Wheeler Yuta, hits the um, twist of fate and pins him. Uh, as much as I like Matt Hardy, I think he needs to be on the uh, downturn of his career. I think he's really good as a manager, but he is obviously not the same worker he used to be. Uh, and I think he needs to start taking a back seat to the rest of the talent, if you ask me. Um, I think they should bring in a name to be the big. You know, they have a lot of tag teams in the HFO, but I think they need a big singles guy. Matt Hardy is trying to come off as the big singles guy, but I think they needed another guy in that group uh, to really be like the big singles guy that they push, and he can be like the mouthpiece. Because you can have stables of a lot of people and make it work, but I don't know. The HFO, the Hardy Family Office, hasn't really been doing much for me personally. Uh, so we get another backstage with Miro. And he said, every time I fight somebody at the end, he said, I always forgive them. He said, I did that with Lee Johnson last week. He said, on Rampage Friday, he said, I'll be doing the same to you, Fuego del Sol. Fuego not only has a opportunity at the TNT title, but if Fuego wins, he's also going to be given a AEW contract. He said, so I'm afraid that won't happen. And no, I don't think Fuego is winning that match at all. Fuego has seemed to have died a lot, and I think he's going to die again. But another big match set up for Friday. Then we had another fantastic. No, first we had a. Sorry. Then we have a match, the Chris Statlander Nyla Rose match. This is all right. This is the much better than their match from last year. Chris Statlander has gotten a lot better since then. Ever since she's come back from injury, she's been really good. This match was pretty fun. Nothing major. Chris Statlander picks up the win. She hits the area 451 splash. Gets the finish. Pins Nyla Rose clean. Perfectly fine with that. Then we get probably one of the best moments of the night. We have Britt Baker is brought to the ring. They have made special Britt Baker DMD Pittsburgh terrible towels. The entire crowd is swinging them around. It's an awesome visual. Huge pop. Huge hometown pop for Britt Baker. She says, and not in a heel. I know she is a heel, but she did not heel on the crowd one bit. She actually came off much more like a babyface in this promo. I'm perfectly fine with that. If you're it's like Ric Flair being in Charlotte. He's not going to get booed. There's no way. And the same thing here. Britt Baker is such a popular wrestler right now, especially in Pittsburgh, her hometown, that she's going to get a huge reaction. She says, when Pittsburgh needed a champion, she stepped up. She said Red Velvet. She said Pittsburgh, I give you hope. She held up the title. She said, Red Velvet, speaking of hope, you'd have more hope facing me if you were facing me in any other city. He said, but we're in Brittsburgh. Said you're in shark-infested waters and you're about to get dragged under. She said, let's go ahead and test it out now, and your winner, and still AEW champion, AEW Women's Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. The entire crowd shouts it out. She is mega over. Even in crowds that aren't her hometown, she's mega over. Red Velvet comes out and attacks Britt, and she gets huge amount of boos. It's like a complete reversal. It's like when WWE go to Canada, and like any Canadian wrestler gets huge cheers, and anybody who wrestles against them gets huge boos. Same thing. But they have a pull apart brawl. Really good segment. I love that segment. And now we have there's a Impact Tag Team Championship match. The Dark Order, Stu Grayson and Evil Uno face the Good Brothers. Another really good tag match. Stu Grayson is one of the best workers in AEW, like, bar none. He is fantastic. I think he's extremely underrated. I know even Sean Ross Sapp has said sooner or later they're going to have a singles match with Stu Grayson, and he is really going to show people what he's made of. But he was really good in this match. Eventually, the Good Brothers are able to Anderson's able to hit a gun stun on Uno, sends him out of the ring. Stu Grayson was up on the top rope, they were getting ready to do their fatality finish, um, but Uno gets hit with the gun stun. He gets thrown out. Uh, Gallows comes in, grabs Stu Grayson, picks him up. They do the Magic Killer. 1, 2, 3. Good stuff. Quick, easy, simple match. Good title match. You knew that. I figured that the Good Brothers would win here. I was perfectly fine with that. Next, we had QT Marshall came out, and it's supposed to be the official apology to Tony Schiavone. This was 3 weeks ago. They did the thing with the pouring the protein shake on Tony Schiavone, and they've been trying to make this a feud that nobody cared about. Nobody's cared about this so much that I thought they forgot about it. But QT Marshall said you should be apologizing to me, but here I do apologize, but not for the protein shake, but what for I'm about to do to your son, as Tony Schiavone's son Chris is in the audience. They bring him out. They start to beat up Chris, and Tony is like, I apologize. Said, I don't accept. And he hits a diamond cutter on Tony's son, who completely no-souls the diamond cutter. But this brings out Paul White, who comes out, stares down, who has a very, actually found out that the singer of Paul White's new theme is the same guy who did the original Big Show theme. So that's a cool addition. And they do have a very similar beginning. I figured they'd have to do that because there was no way Big Show / Paul White could have a music that didn't start like that. It's a yeah instead of a well, but same thing. He comes out, runs off QT Marshall. QT Marshall basically just throws Aaron Solo at him. He hits a choke slam on Aaron Solo. So it looks like that's going to be Big Show's Paul White's first match. I did think it was funny that JR quickly caught himself. He almost said thank God for show, but he quickly caught himself and said thank God for Paul White coming out. And now we come to the main event, the fourth flavor of Jericho, Chris Jericho versus Wardlow. This match was basically Wardlow beating the ever-loving crap out of Chris Jericho for like 10, 15 minutes. I don't know how many power bombs Chris Jericho took. One of them, Jericho's belt, broke. I was afraid we were going to get a wardrobe malfunction. And the crazy thing is, his belt broke during a power bomb, and Wardlow was able to basically save Jericho from falling directly on his head. He was coming close to landing directly on his neck. And Wardlow, just brute strength alone, just hoisted him back up and hit him with a power bomb. That was really impressive. But throughout the commercial break, during picture-in-picture, he was just hitting power bomb after power bomb after power bomb. There was a early code breaker, but pretty much the rest of the match was almost all 100% Wardlow. But eventually, somehow there's a distraction, and somebody, I didn't even see who, slipped Floyd the baseball bat to Jericho. Jericho hits Wardlow in the face with it, spins, hits the Judas effect for a 1-2-3. Not sure if I'm a fan of the guy gets beat up for most of the match and then hits one move and wins, but they're trying to build this feud, this match with MJF, and you knew he was going to get there. But after the match, MJF gets on the mic and he says, so you got to me, you got to your fifth labor. He said, but I didn't say what the stipulation was yet. He said, you're facing MJF, but the Judas effect is banned from the match. Not only is the Judas effect banned, you do not get to come out to the song Judas. You don't get to come out. You come out to absolute silence, which I guarantee is leading to a moment next week where the entire crowd sings this theme song. I'm guessing they'll have like a karaoke thing up so people know the words to the song. That's my guess is what will happen next week. Maybe with the little Jericho head bouncing. We'll find out. But I'm guessing that will be the big. But it's the matches next week. I figured they were setting up the match at All Out. I think they still get to All Out. I think something will happen next week that'll it'll be like a non-finish or something. It'll set up. Excuse me. Them having a match at All Out. So I think it's sad that this storyline has kind of gone downhill, especially after the Hoovy match. It just kind of dwindled down in interest for me. I like Jericho, but he has gotten significantly his in-ring work has got significantly less in recent months. So I think he is getting ready to phase out of the in-ring part of his career. I still think that it should be that eventually they have a if Jericho loses, he retires, a match at All Out, and I think MJF should win. There's plenty of stuff Jericho can do. I know he still tours with his band, so there's always going to be that. And I think either a commentary role or something would be really good for Jericho. But I think his in-ring stuff needs to kind of has to come to an end. He is in his 50s. But, Jericho, or the Sting is 62 and he's still putting on decent matches. But he's not fighting for titles either. So we'll see. See where things go. Like I said, this show, it was probably one of my least favorite episodes in recent memory. But it still wasn't a bad show by any stretch. Next week, there should be some really good stuff with the tag titles on the line. If you like this video, give me a like. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. Know when my videos come up. Comment down below. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Rob Reed. I will see you in the next video.